Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
If I can wear the Snow White Crocs while eating key lime pie and petting a
Whoa.
Hemingway cat, and reading a book that Judy Blume sold me,
Yeah,
I
close the door, Mildred. This
think
is
that is up there with when I experienced the Nikki Beach Bar in St. Bart's as being in heaven. So,
or if we had been able to have cheesecake with Tawny Katane. Never
I
forget.
know. But I think Tawny was sending me messages at the dentist the other day. Because he was rocking out to Here I Go Again.
I love that that's your first thing is like, does this
And the other thing that's really weird that I didn't realize
Oh, here we go. What's really weird
was
about being
simultaneously,
contacted by Tawny Katane from the
oh my
Great
God,
Beyond at the dentist?
the greatest thing ever. I happened to open up Facebook because I had to like sit there for a little while. And I was served this brand, which I can't remember. It's called like the sexylittlerobe.com.
Hmm.
And it's like loungewear that's beautiful that you can feel comfortable wearing when you have to answer the door. People come over. And the one that actually reeled me in that I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I didn't buy anything yet.
Hmm.
Was white and long, like long sleeved and long and wrapped and not quite as sexy as Tawny's, but it was very much you could wear it as a Tawny Katane costume if you had to.
Mm, interesting.
If I do, all I gotta do is learn how to do the splits and find a Rolls Royce.
Yeah. Other than that, you're all set.
Hmm.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
There's been an incident happening around the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
Restaurants have been receiving pallets of hell of a good cheese French onion dip for the past month.
Are you serious?
Yes,
That's weird. I
sometimes
almost bought that.
mysteriously and without warning. So the Philly Inquirer says restaurants have been small and fast casual with varying refrigeration
Oh dear.
capabilities. So they've struggled to manage how to keep nearly 6 pounds, I'm sorry, they've struggled to keep nearly 600 pounds of perishable French onion dip
Well, they gotta
fresh.
just serve it to everyone that comes in.
So, yes, some places have essentially given out free French onion dip with orders.
Amazing.
Max Mart in Center City, Philadelphia, it's a kiosk.
Hmm.
They received 600 12-ounce tubs of French onion dip, which again had not been requested or approved.
Right.
The owner attempted to refuse the shipment, but was told, no, you got to take this.
I mean, they're
So,
not getting billed, right?
correct.
Okay.
So she was left to try to pack 600 pounds of dip into the trunk of her car.
Oh my Lord. I mean, they need some of these places. See, if this is like a marketing ploy by them, they need to do, in Northport, the goat farm, which is amazing, has amazing spreads and dips and cheeses. They have a refrigerated vending machine right in the
Mm,
marina area, and you can just go buy your cheeses and dips from the vending machine.
ooh,
It's
interesting.
amazing. It's so good. Idle
And
Farms is so yummy.
yeah, that's so. Unless you think the hell of a good people are not aware of this, the woman who was trying to fit 600 pounds of French onion dip into her fridge made a TikTok video that then caught the attention of corporate, who told her to dispose of all of it because they have no idea where it came from. So sleep tight, America. Someone sending French onion dip to complete strangers across our great land.
I wonder who it is. They must know.
But
How
you
would
can.
you access that kind of
I don't.
capacity without talking to corporate?
I don't know. I mean, maybe someone somewhere has a standing order of 600,
And
but I
they're
guess you would,
just sending it to other people? But
or they're just
that's
intercepting it and then sending it.
no. It's got it. No, the cost, the delivery cost alone.
Right. But I mean,
Corporate knows. Or a
or
franchise. Yeah,
or is
corporate
somebody
knows.
making bootleg French onion dip?
Well,
But if
that's
even if you were,
terrifying.
right, but if you were, why would you be just giving it away?
Right.
Unless you have ulterior motives, then
Is
letting
it
everyone,
poison?
letting people enjoy the delicious, crisp tang of a
Hell of a good
hell of a good French
chip
onion
and friend.
dip.
It's so bizarre because I just literally bought that yesterday.
Okay, do you trust the vendor from which you procured it?
Yes.
Okay, that is
But
good.
I don't buy that very often.
And it's weird that it's only in Philadelphia.
And
I
that it's
mean,
only the French onion.
in some ways, it makes complete sense that it's only happening in Philadelphia.
Right. But it feels like it should be happening in Detroit too. But also, why specifically the French onion? Like, why not the spicy cheddar or whatever?
Right? Do
Or,
they do a queso?
I think they
They
do.
must have a hell of a good queso.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but I feel like if corporate knew about this, would they really let the message go forth? Hey, get rid of this. We don't know where it's been. Is not a great. Hey, rest assured, enjoy your French onion dip,
Right.
kids. Like it's not really. You're going to sleep the sleep of the angels, knowing that this French onion dip might have been tampered with.
Right.
And we want to apologize to the hell of a good cheese company. We do not mean to disparage you or your French onion dip.
No, we're not.
And we would love to talk to you about all of your various dips and quesos.
And if it is a mystery person who's doing this, we will have them
Get
on
in touch.
anonymously.
Yeah.
We will protect their identity. We will do it all to get to the
Yep.
bottom of this.
Backlighting. We will mask your voice, which will be no more creepier than the show usually is.
Right.
And we would like you to explain your reasons. Your book is about your kind of journey through polyamory.
Yes.
It's a fascinating subject and one that's such a personal conversation to have. To put it into text on a page that other people can read. Was there a fear in that? I mean, you talk in the book about fear of telling friends and family, but this is
Yeah.
another level of getting it out there.
I felt like it was way less scary than telling friends and family, like way less scary. And it probably because I had to go through so many iterations of myself and really come to terms of what's the goal in putting this out. You know, when you are sharing your truth with people in your inner circle that you care about, their opinion is really weighted, and you really want them to support you and see you and validate your choices. Not that I couldn't live, openly if they came back and said, we disagree with you. But I think I worked so hard and for so long to really unlearn, unburden, really work through the shame that by the time it got public, I was like, oh, okay, I got this.
Well, and that's one thing that's really interesting through your book, through your whole story, is that
Mhm.
you've been like overcoming big fears, leaps of faith, everything your whole life. I mean, this is
Yeah.
sort of a narrative that runs through the many themes of your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So you're pro at it now.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Jeez.
call all my family and tell them all the things I do that they don't agree with or may not be.
Yeah.
Well, and the book, it's so you talk about my first question, I guess,
Yeah.
in going to back to page one.
Mhm.
Like Heidi mentioned, this sort of the backstory growing up in a
Yeah.
religious household. Before you get to polyamory, before we
Yeah.
even look in that direction, how do you tell them you want to go be a sex therapist?
Oh, yeah.
You,
Oh,
you
man.
skip
Okay.
over that
Yeah.
part in the book.
So my first book talks about that because
Ah,
it's called Not Tonight, Honey, Why Women Actually Don't Want Sex and what we can do about it. And so I talk a lot more about my, upbringing in purity culture and the impact, and how I sat my dad down and told him, hey, I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to study sex instead. Which his biggest concern was money. It wasn't even the sexuality part of it. He's like, well, how are you going to make money? What does that look like? And I didn't have a black and white answer. And I was like, well, I'll just figure it out. And that was okay. Okay, figure it out.
so when you get that off your chest, I mean,
Mhm.
it's
Right?
Tell them
You
anything at that point.
exactly right.
But I'm
Yeah.
making $10, so you know.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
How did that realization come about for you? That like because obviously this is a huge thing, and people of any sexuality will talk about
Hmm.
their sort of people who are gay or trans, sort of that
Hmm.
realization of like, oh, wait a second, I've been trying to fit kind of square peg round hole for a
Yeah.
while, and maybe am not meant to be doing that. How did you come to that realization that this is who you are?
Well, I mean, the short answer is through a guided psychedelic mushroom trip.
Which is a
Sure.
great story in the book.
Which is, yeah, which is like a way to shortcut your way to the answers and what you're most afraid of. And that for me was super revealing on many levels. But for sure, the message was that I was meant to not just love one person. Like I had the capacity and space and oh, this sounds so ridiculous, but almost like a calling. And I know that sounds insane, but like, yes, the higher powers are calling you to love more than one person, but it's really about not limiting. Like to love openly is what that message was. And it was so peaceful and like an inner knowing of it.
I don't think that sounds crazy at all, first
Okay.
of all.
Okay.
So just that makes total sense. And I also
Yeah.
can see even in my own relationships, like I've never like tried polyamory. It's not something that at
Yeah.
this time but I also get completely where it would be fantastic because I
Yeah.
remember great relationships I had that
Hmm.
certain elements were lacking and other
Yeah.
elements, and I specifically am not in a one out committed relationship because I want all of it if I'm going to like go
Hmm.
all in. So
Yeah.
I totally get if you can balance it, why it
Yeah.
tempting and work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you say loving more than one person,
Hmm.
there is the actual like love, caring for, opening your heart to have
Yeah.
a deeper and a more personal relationship with multiple people.
Hmm.
And then there's the physical aspect of it, which also gets
Right.
it, which seems like the sticky wicket for most people.
It really depends. I have people who say, I understand the sex, but I don't get the emotions. And then I have it flipped where they say, okay, I can get on board with the emotions, but why do you have to have sex with them?
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's the
So
what's the
everybody finds the
percentage?
issue. It's really a reflection of pretty much their own. So I'd say it's pretty 50-50 depending on, I think that men tend to understand the sex more. And then they're like, but why do you have to fall in love? But I would say older men tend to be, because I have a lot of older men, like men in like over 60 who follow me and are really supportive and some who are not. But I would say that those are the ones that like, I get falling in love, but why do you have to have sex with them?
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
Do
And
you want
it's
to name any of
rarely
them?
women. Do I want to name any of the men that call me out? Is that what
Yeah,
we?
yeah, or who don't, just who agree with you.
No, that's okay.
Today.
It's totally fine.
You're
But I
saving
don't.
that for that better show.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. The one that I had to go in person for. No, but I rarely get women who criticize me publicly or privately. It's 95% of the outcry is from men.
And you talk about it in the book, but I think the next question would be, how does your husband react to this?
Mm,
Because
yeah,
when it comes to relationships that people have in their life, their
yeah,
spouse is right up there with like family dog.
yeah,
Number two,
Yeah,
definitely
who
dog.
did you tell first, and how did they both react?
yeah. That's funny. Um, so at first, my husband was like, absolutely not. Well, when I asked for an open marriage, he said, no, 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 no. And then we spent 6 months having conversations about it and what it would look like and all the research, all the science behind it. And then when I realized I was polyamorous, then he said, I flat out said, hey, I get if you don't want to be with somebody like me, like if you are, and he said, I would rather be with you and have this be our biggest problem than not be with you. And we'll figure it out. And that was nice in theory, but then we still had a lot, as if you've read the book, you see that we had a lot more problems to overcome. But eventually now he's like it was his idea for our YouTube channel. Like he is super supportive.
At any point, did you just say to him, "This is the thing everyone's supposed to dream about. Why can't you
Ooh,
get down with this?"
I would ask, I think the therapist in me never wanted to shame him. I never wanted,
Fine.
like, don't you think it's hot that like other men want me? And he's like, no, no, I don't. I do not. I was like, why not?
Well,
And
but
so,
in
yeah.
verse for him, like, hey, the world's your oyster.
Yes, absolutely. But he's very like black and white and very, okay, this is how the world works. And this is how, you know, he was very conditioned in monogamy. And so he didn't see it as like this open, incredible opportunity to go find the oysters.
Where was I going with this? I had like a follow up to it, which is why we edit the
It
program.
is why we
Is
put
it
them in
about
Yeah.
that.
oysters?
Uh,
Yes.
I would have made it a lot
Are they
easier.
what they're cracked up to
Yeah.
be?
Right, right.
Um, it's hard because you don't want to just give away the whole book, but you
Right,
also
that's
want to
okay.
go into a little more.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so tell us how it ends.
Yes.
Well, but so the thing that I kind of kept coming back to, or one of the few things I kept coming back to
Hmm.
the book, is that you kept saying part of this was your purity culture growing up
Hmm.
and kind of breaking that cycle, that tradition of this.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had friends in college
Hmm.
who would go out and do stupid things on the weekends. Let's just put it
Sure.
like that. And come Monday or Tuesday, when you're hanging out, you or somebody else might be like, "Well, why did you do that?" And they would say, "Oh,
Hmm.
it's because people our age think we're invincible." To which I
Mm,
would respond, if you can say it's because people think we're invincible, that means you know that we are not invincible.
right,
Ergo,
right,
meaning therefore. So
right.
in your case, going back and saying it's the purity culture that's conditioned all this, how
Hmm.
much hadn't you shucked that off, or does some of that still just cling to you that you got to go through a few more cycles of the washer?
Um, I think it was I mean, the way that our society, it's not just purity culture. I'd say that it's also very patriarchal as well, which purity culture and patriarchy go hand in hand in a lot of respects. And so for me, it felt like, in addition to claiming my identity, I was so tired of men telling me what I could or couldn't do with my body. Like I was just over it. And this felt like an act of political and personal resistance for me to claim my body and say, it's funny because I get like, oh, these guys, you're just like letting them like fuck you whenever you want. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, sir. No, I'm choosing. Like it is my body. I choose to partner with whoever I want to or whoever I don't want to. And so it is a very empowered place for me that I never had growing up or in my early adult years.
And so when did you kind of get that feeling of like that I am breaking this cycle, that I am sort of like stepping out of
Mhm.
this thing that I think a lot of people have trouble doing?
I think when I told my husband that I was polyamorous, I was like, I'm ready to burn it all down. And if this implodes my family and I have to start out on my own and build this back from the ground up, I will do that. Like I mean, I was like the poster child for like perfect Christian wife. I was very successful, very service, very, shiny. And I was the PTA president at my kid's school. Like I did all the things. And so nobody can say like that I didn't try to like I mean, I taught stuff at church. I was in a Bible study, like I did all these things. And
Watch Veggie Tales, sure.
yes, the Veggie Tales.
Yeah.
Yes, Larry and Bob. Thank you. Okay. And like I just couldn't do it anymore. It felt like, here's this script, you follow this and this is supposed to make you happy. And it felt like a lie. And for some people that feels very like that script that they're handed, that's fulfilling for them. And that's great, but it wasn't for me. And so that's when I was like, burn it, burn it. I don't care. I can't do this anymore.
Was it that quick of a switch flip with the scales falling from your eyes to go, what the hell is this?
Oh, no, because I was still really scared on different levels. So I was scared. I would not be scared personally anymore, but I was terrified professionally because one of the things I had prided myself on as being a relationship expert is, oh, I've been married for 17 years. Like I got married at 22. I've done all these things. Like, look, I have three, kids and we have all these wonderful things. And that was like my badge of honor to prove my legitimacy in a lot of the work that I did. And I was afraid that if I came out and was like, oh, well, it's kind of like when you realize like people are bowling with bumper lanes, and you're like, well, of
Mm-hmm.
course you're getting strikes. You have bumpers, like duh. And it felt a lot like that when I was afraid that if I came out and they're like, well, of course your marriage is successful now because, you have other people to help support you in that. And that felt like a weakness because I had been conditioned that your husband, your spouse is supposed to be everything. And if they're not, then there's something wrong with you, not
Yeah,
them,
it's
you.
crazy.
And how does this fit into your work with your clients? Because
Mm,
normally, any sort of relationship,
yeah,
my therapist might be a furry for all I know,
could
and
be.
and
Yeah.
God bless her, like find your bliss.
Thanks.
But
Thanks, Kathy. No.
right, exactly. I call her Dr. Melfi, but anyway,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
how do you how does that come up, or are they just like, dude, leave work at work, leave family with family?
So I was surprised when I officially came out like publicly on my Instagram business page. I don't think I lost any followers. Like I was so sure people are gonna like, oh my gosh, she's gonna try to convert us and try to tell us all to open our marriages. And everybody pretty much stayed. And I didn't have an influx or an outflux or an outflow of it. It was pretty normal. So most people don't realize I'm even polyamorous because it's usually a word of mouth recommendation. Most of my clients that I get are from, oh, my sister, you got to use this woman. She's fantastic, or my dad, whatever. And yeah, I rarely coach or help or because I'm a therapist slash coach. I rarely work with non-monogamous people. I am not one of those like and you get an open marriage and let me write you a prescription for an open marriage. Like
Hmm.
If
that's
only
not
there was a prescription.
right. Yes. Here's your permission slip. You're welcome.
So it's not like you're at the charcuterie board at a party and they're just putting, horseradish on their plate, being like, I know, we get it, like, fine,
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
a little more personal.
I would say it's more personal, but I'm not ashamed of it. And honestly, most people don't even ask me about it. Like most of my friends don't even ask me. I'd say 75% of my friends don't even ask me if I'm dating anybody. They just don't care. And not because they're like mean or, you know, clueless, but a lot of people don't know how to talk about it. They're like, do I ask you if you're dating, like you have a boyfriend? Or if they know I'm in a relationship, they'll usually ask, oh, how's so and so doing? And how's that going? And when you get to see him again. But that still rarely happens. Like it's just the least interesting thing about me usually when I'm at the charcuterie board.
Hmm. And this feels like a terrible question to ask
It's
now.
okay.
Um, are you in a relationship?
I am. Yes. Yeah.
And how many people is sort of your
Sweet
charcuterie
spot.
board
My
of?
charcuterie, I got two spots. That's it. That's all I
Okay,
have time and energy for. So my husband
completely fair.
and yeah, and the other guy. That's all I got.
Oh,
Uh,
that's good. I thought you were implying that you would time for two extras before
Oh
you
no,
lose
no,
your
no.
cut. That would like that you would be a miracle worker, I think.
no, that
I
is Annie Sullivan level of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plus the
yeah.
business, plus the everything, which is also interesting because of your career. You obviously are privy to so many people's stories and the difficulties that they run
Hmm.
into. And how do you how do you balance all that? Because obviously in your role, you have to learn how to balance it, but then you're bringing that into
Yeah.
two relationships, a relationship involving multiple people. Is that hard to do? Hard to keep it
Yeah.
all?
No, not really. You mean in terms of like my work?
Yeah,
Like,
because like bringing work, not like the age old bringing work home, but
yeah.
to an extent, like if you're having I don't know, dealing with a difficult case, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think,
Keeping everybody happy as
yeah.
well as yourself. And
I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing work and like keeping the boundaries with clients. I mean, I've just been doing this for so long and I've really seen it all and
Yeah.
heard it all in my field that, I mean, there are some times where a client situation will like stick with me a little bit
Mhm.
longer and I'll usually just acknowledge it and to it's usually my husband that's around and or via, my boyfriend and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm just really down right now. So if you notice that I'm just not as energetic, or I'm just going to like take off the evening. So I'll message you tomorrow, but I just need to like process some stuff that came up in a session today that for some reason is really sticking with me."
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're based out of you live in Germany,
Hmm. Yeah.
and in the book you're traveling to various cities throughout Europe
Yeah.
to meet
I know it's
people.
so ridiculous. It's so annoying. I'm like, people are going to hate me. Like, oh my gosh, you're in Paris now. Like,
Yeah, it
okay.
does a little bit sound like kind of a Rochelle
Yeah.
Rochelle kind of situation. And how does one not have a good time with somebody in
Yeah.
Paris or Romania or wherever? I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like it's kind of fish in a
Yeah.
barrel. Um, the other thing that is, at one point in the book, your husband suggests inviting your boyfriend
Oh, yeah.
to join you for, I believe it's New Year's
New
Eve.
Year's Eve. Yeah.
And that kind of like in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, well, this is how do you strike that balance? Because
Mm.
you have your family, you have your
Hmm.
husband, and you have your kids, and
Yeah.
then to have another partner in all of this,
Hmm.
there's this weird crossing of the streams, to
Hmm.
coin a phrase.
Sure.
It just it seems like sort of your husband or your boyfriend are going to miss out on certain things because of the way a calendar naturally falls.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
someone gets Thanksgiving, that means the other person doesn't get Thanksgiving. I know they don't have
Right.
Thanksgiving, but anyway, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's okay. Yeah.
One person gets Arbor Day, the other one
Yep.
doesn't. They
Hmm.
don't have Arbor Day anyway.
It's okay.
Regardless.
But how do you strike that balance? And that's a
Yeah.
huge ask for everybody in your family.
Yeah. So I think in term okay, it wasn't just like a family thing. There was probably like 40 of us. So like it wasn't just my kids and my husband and I for New Year's Eve. There's like a ton of people and other people invite their friends. And so my boyfriend would have just been another one of the people there. Obviously they would know who he is, but like their kids wouldn't know. I mean, my
Hmm.
kids would have known, but so how do you strike the balance? I think humans tend to give meaning to certain things. So we give meaning to Thanksgiving or to holidays or to Arbor Day. And I find, and Nate, my husband, has found that like most days, 98% of days in a year are just days. And so if we find the time to connect over and make it our own Thanksgiving or our own, especially as military spouse, a doctor's spouse, I can't even tell you how many holidays I spent alone. Like probably more holidays alone than I've spent with my husband. And so for us, it just is like another day and we find ways to celebrate in our own way. It doesn't have to necessarily be on the day. But in full transparency, it's never been an issue for me with having my partners. Like the guy that was invited for New Year's, he was Muslim, so he didn't celebrate Christmas. So it wasn't an issue to like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to see you for Christmas type of thing because he didn't celebrate it.
Do they have get-togethers for Ramadan? They must.
They do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
actually put those two things together. Of like, well,
Yeah.
this is the big holiday for that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Um,
Hmm.
so does your boyfriend now does he have a partner? Is he partnered
Hmm.
otherwise in life? Does he
Yeah.
have children? What's
Yeah,
his
he's like almost like me. So he has, well, he has a wife.
when's his
And
book
then,
coming out?
yeah, right. Oh, he is not publicly out, which is, so he has three kids so he's 4.5 years younger than me. And so his kids are a little bit younger and they don't know that he's poly. His wife's non-monogamous. She doesn't identify as poly. Um, but yeah, it's new. Like, it's like, 7 weeks type of thing. So we're not
Hmm.
like, years and years here, but it's the first poly relationship I've had.
How would you describe that balance, or I'm sorry, not the balance, the difference between non-monogamous and polyamory? Because I think for
Sure.
a lot of people, those
Hmm.
two things kind of intertwine in a little bit.
Yeah. So non-monogamy, I like to explain it. It's like an umbrella term. And under non-monogamy, you have different spokes. So one of the spokes is like swinging. Another spoke is just like an open relationship where people will date, but they don't necessarily want to have feelings. Like you can be like a good equivalence, like a friends with benefits. And then polyamory is another one. And then within polyamory, you still have a spectrum of, different rules and ways that people practice, that. But you can be non-monogamous, but not polyamorous. But if you're polyamorous, you are non-monogamous.
I got to get like a whiteboard.
I know. Yeah. It's like connect the dots, follow the red string,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to figure out all of this once you sort
I
of
mean,
opened this can of worms?
yeah, it's,
It's a little bit of taking work
yeah.
home with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Mhm.
It's probably a quiz in school.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like one of those like association or logic puzzles or whatever they have. Yeah. That should be it on the non-monogamy.
Like Jane has 2 boyfriends and
math. We could do it in math.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes. Oh, you guys, we're normalizing polyamory. I love it.
Yes, right?
And if one
I would've done
boyfriend's on
way
a
better at
train
math.
coming from,
Right.
Yes. Oh, the train leaves Paris and
Yes.
is going to Romania.
yeah,
I love this. You guys. This is
if he
amazing.
puts his children on a train to Brussels and gets on the next one there and connects to,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, math would be way better for many of us.
Mhm.
so this whole search, how many years have you sort of defined yourself or consider yourself polyamorous?
About 3.5 years.
In the book, there's a lot of the first blush of a relationship, which everyone will always say. I've heard people say too, like any relationship you have in your life, usually marriage, is 2 or 3 different stages.
Right.
Where there's one maybe before you have a family, there's one,
Yeah.
all of that, and your relationship changes and undergoes these changes as life kind of goes on around you. The book is a lot of kind of the first blush of a relationship with someone and the texting and
Yeah.
the communication and sort of the getting to know each other. And there's a certain, for lack of a better term, sexy fun time in doing that with another person.
Sure. Yeah.
And it seems like always after that, when things get a little complicated, is when most usually the guys head for the hills.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you screen for that? To be like, are you really down for this? Or is this just sexy fun time? And then,
Oh, yeah.
this is a Cinemax movie and then you go back to work.
That's a good one. That's like the best line I've heard. Okay. I'm going to use that one in the future.
Take it. It's yours.
Thank you.
Go with God.
Oh, so generous.
Yeah.
I
We give on this show.
We do.
Let's see
you
those
guys-
in-person people do that.
Yeah. Okay. I know. Can they really compete?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Clowns.
Whatever they
Amateurs.
may be.
Yeah. Amateurs.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to besmirch clowns. Their culture is not my costume.
Right.
So,
Yes.
But you were saying.
I would say in the beginning, I didn't care. I just wanted to escape. I wanted attention. I wanted to be desired. And I wanted to escape. And so if somebody was checked off a few of the boxes that I had, great. And I just thought that like, oh, we'll figure it out as we go, which is a disastrous approach to dating. And then as it started to go on, I started to be a little bit more discerning. I will say that I had there was, I was gonna say one character, but like, he's a real person. Like
Right.
like the Polish guy, Poland, he was just like, kept coming back around. And that was something I really had to heal and thought, gosh, like if I was just smart enough or pretty enough or thin enough or whatever, then he would choose me. Like then he would, and I had that sometimes with some of these guys, and that was programming from my purity culture days that I had to heal. And so, which is why I took a bit of a break after, kind of a break after my relationship with the Moroccan guy ended, because I was like, I am in a pattern and I need to figure out why.
At any point in the process, did you kind of go, am I polyamorous or
Mm.
Am I just looking for some strange,
That's a great question. Sometimes I would say I have questioned it more probably within the last year. Like, or been like, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just be monogamous? When I've gotten really discouraged, or like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I find that how I feel when I have this like equilibrium in my life with two partners, it's like a peaceful kind of, because I, yeah. And some people will say that, oh, you basically you didn't get to have your slut days when you were in your 20s because you got married at 22. And now that's what you're doing, is you're making up for it. But for me, it was never just about sex. Like
Mm.
I didn't enjoy that part. And in fact, there were some chapters from the book that got pulled, or my editor was like, I don't really, they kind of distracts us from it, that I thought were going to be like rewarding and fulfilling. And they ended up, the guy just wanted sex. And I was like so oblivious to that because I just believed naively, like, why would someone lie to you about that? So I think that if I just wanted sex, I would have just owned it at some point, because frankly, it is way easier to be a swinger or to be somebody who's just non-monogamous and just wants sex than it is to be polyamorous.
I would imagine it would be way easier for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
more feelings.
Yeah, just get in, get out.
Yeah. And
No pun
it's hard to
intended.
find people. Yeah, seriously. It's hard to find people to meet you where you're at, who are the men who are really willing to put in that emotional work, who have done the emotional labor on their own, versus, like, yeah, sure. Okay. I could possibly do this.
Do you have any advice through your process of
Mhm.
going through this journey to writing a book and working with others to talk with them about this, for folks who perhaps think they might be polyamorous, who
Mhm.
have this inclination that maybe this is what they are meant to be and who they
Yeah.
really are?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for folks who are on the various apps and things and going through the whole process? Is how do you weed out the F boys and get to like somebody
Yeah.
who wants a relationship and is in the same mindset and approach to this as you?
So when anybody asks me, or they'll say, oh, I'm thinking about opening my relationship, or I think I might be polyamorous, my answer is why? Like, what's your why? And not that for me, I really truly believe I was born polyamorous, and like, God, it would be so much easier just to be a default monogamous person. Like, the world is not set up for polyamorous people. And so even if the why to not choosing polyamory, but to choose the polyamorous lifestyle, to actually choose to act on who you think that you are, if your why is not rock solid, you will crumble, because most people are not out there opening their arms being like, oh my gosh, have you considered polyamory? Like, maybe if you just dated more than one person, you would really feel more, whole and whatever. And so really, that is it. Identify your why, and that will help be your compass to whatever it is that you see the role of relationships in your life.
Last question for me.
Okay.
Polyamory, do you guys have a flag?
Supposedly, it's interesting. I am kind of
Because
on
the
the
swingers are co-opting
the
pineapples.
pineapples.
Yeah. Are you guys thinking pomegranate, go bigger, or
I mean,
something
pomegranate would be
smaller?
it's
So
much
many
sexier.
Your
seeds.
kiwi, your kumquats,
I like a
know.
kumquat.
even your
Okay.
chickpea, because there's a lot of them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
chickpeas aren't sexy.
They're
Pomegranates
not
are
sexy.
sexy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I do like the pomegranate. So I don't feel really integrated in the polyamory community for a variety of reasons. So I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty sure we do.
Okay.
We're going to find
All right,
it.
well, get back to us on that.
Okay. Yes.
So,
Okay.
right.
It's just got enough stuff to do. We can find
Okay,
find
fine.
the flag.
Yeah.
Put on my iceberg here.
Don't make us another relationship.
No, I'm gonna. Opened by Courtney Boyer is available right now wherever you get your books, and if your local bookstore doesn't have it, tell them to order you a copy. For more information or to schedule coaching sessions, check out her website, CourtneyBoyerCoaching.com.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?